and she stretched out her paw to me. The story of one dog's fight for a second chance. On April 7th, a dog lay motionless by the roadside in the Tula region. She didn't whimper, didn't struggle, just lay there as if resting. When Ivan and Maria saw her, they weren't sure if she was injured. No visible wounds, no clear signs of pain. They bought her pâté, fed her, gave her water, and drove off, assuming she'd move on. But the next day, she was still there, just a few meters away. Maria stepped out and crouched beside her. The dog raised her head and, in that moment, stretched out her paw. I wasn't ready to save her, Maria admitted, but at that moment, I knew I couldn't leave her. She needed help. When Ivan approached, she growled and bared her teeth, afraid of men. But there was no time to figure out why. Maria carefully muzzled her with a bandage, and, with great difficulty, they lifted her into their car and rushed to a vet. The clinic was overcrowded with outdated equipment. The vet found no broken bones but couldn't confirm if she was pregnant. There was no ultrasound machine. He guessed she wasn't. Maria wasn't convinced. Her sides looked too swollen. They took her home and cared for her. She was weak, unable to stand. A week later, they found another clinic that could monitor her. She stayed for a month and a half, slowly regaining strength. Then came heartbreaking news. She had been pregnant, but the puppies hadn't survived. Worse, she was at risk of infection. She had to be sterilized. As if that weren't enough, she was diagnosed with pyroplasmosis, a deadly tick-borne disease. Without treatment, she wouldn't have made it. She went through so much, tests, surgery, vaccinations, but they brought her back to life, Maria said. Finally, she was strong enough to go home. Ivan and Maria had 2 dogs, Monty and Bona, but Luna was scared, defensive. She guarded her food, her space, even Maria and Ivan's attention, afraid of losing what she had fought so hard to get. They hadn't planned on keeping a 3rd dog. With a small child, their hands were full. But Luna had nowhere to go. They couldn't abandon her. They decided to find her a home. But first, she had to learn to trust. With behavior specialists like Anastasia Panfilova, they worked through her fears. Slowly, she changed. Her journey wasn't over, but she wasn't alone anymore.